Welcome to A Slob Comes Clean, the podcast. I am Dana White. I blog over at aslobcomesclean.com. That's where I share my personal deslobification process. As I figure out ways to keep my own home under control, I share the truth about cleaning and organizing strategies that actually work in real life for real people who don't necessarily love cleaning and organizing. Thanks for joining me today. This is podcast number 93, and I am going to be talking about making the weekly cleaning tasks work for you. Is it so obvious that I often come up with the title of my podcast as I'm actually saying it into the microphone? Sorry about that. Anyway, this is a question. This is a response to a question that I received from one of you. And I thought it was a great question because it really is a struggle that people like me often deal with. And so I'm going to talk about that. But before I get started, I did want to remind you that I have an Amazon link that is special that you, it's special to me personally. Anyway, if you're going to Amazon to shop for something, if you would put into your URL Dilly Whopper at the top of your browser, aslobcomesclean.com/Amazon. It will take you straight to Amazon, but it will be through my affiliate link, which will earn me a teeny tiny percentage. It's usually 6% of whatever you spend on Amazon. So if you get a $5 item, that's like 33 cents. Anyway, but that is something that lets me support this podcast and pay for that. And you can become a patron of the show and participate in our monthly private hangouts that we do for patrons only. This month is going to be on next Monday night, the 25th. I believe it's an evening one. I'm not sure. I will send that out to you patrons because I will have to remember to get that set up. Anyway, actually, I think it might be a morning one. Is it a morning one? Anyway, whatever it is, I'm going to try to do it on the 25th, which is next Monday, and I will send that out to you. Again, that is for patrons only. If you want to find out more about being a patron, you can go to Patreon, patreon.com/aslobcomesclean and find out details about that. Okay. All right. So weekly cleaning tasks and how to make them work for you. Here's the email. I'm not going to read a name because I, having started as Noni, which is short for anonymous, over at aslobcomesclean.com, I totally understand that maybe you don't want your name being used. So I didn't ask ahead of time whether it was okay. So I'm just going to default to not using the name. Okay. Hi, Dana. I really love your blog. Your weekly Wow. Okay, let's hope this starts to go better. Your weekly podcasts really motivate me to just get on with it. I just wondered what you do if you don't manage to finish your weekly task on the allotted day. For example, on Monday, if you don't finish all the laundry, do you do this before you start on the bathrooms on Tuesday? What happens on Thursday if you have both the laundry and bathroom cleaning to do before you can start on the mopping? I feel that the weekly cleaning tasks have helped me keep my house more under control, but that I am on permanent catch-up and wondered if you ever feel like this and what you do about it. Thanks. And then she said, P.S. I am British, so I'm blaming that for anything that doesn't make sense, which really makes me wish that I would have read this in a British accent, but nobody wants that. So anyway, and honestly, I assume that if you're British, your stuff is going to make way more sense than it does when I say it because, it just sounds so much more intellectual when you say something with a British accent. So anyway, we're talking about weekly cleaning tasks. There is a podcast, I'm not sure the number, but it is all about weekly cleaning tasks, how I make them work, how I came up with this system and why they work for me. But I'm going to talk about it. I honestly think that you answered the question yourself in your first little section where you said, the podcasts really motivate you to just get on with it. I think that is the answer. Just get on with it. Because here's the thing. There is no right way to do this. I mean, there's no okay, you better clean your bathrooms on Tuesday or it's all over. I mean, it's just as long as bathrooms are getting clean, then it's great. Okay. Or what about if they aren't getting clean? Because I think that's what I'm getting from this is that sometimes you get behind and then you feel like you have to catch up before you can keep going. Just to be clear, my weekly cleaning tasks, the reason that I have decided they work well for me is because they help me fight my T.P.A.D, time passage awareness disorder. I also have a podcast on that as well. That is a totally made up by me disorder, although somebody told me that it might actually be some reality to that. Anyway, but this time passage awareness disorder, meaning I tend to have no concept of how long it has been since the last time I did some cleaning task. I either think it's been forever or I think it was yesterday, and I'm never right, basically. So the point of having days assigned to Monday is laundry day, Tuesday is bathroom cleaning day, Wednesday I run errands, Thursday I mop the kitchen, and Friday is dusting and vacuuming. When I say it out loud like that, that sounds like, wow, she is so together. But then we look at an actual week and we realize that there is rarely ever a week when I do all of those things perfectly on the exact day that they were supposed to be done. It's a guideline. It is not if you don't do it, it's not a measure of success versus failure. This is a guideline. It helps me stay on track. And the reason that I have it assigned to a day like that is that when Tuesday comes around and I'm aware that it's Tuesday, which I'm not always aware, but if I'm aware that it's Tuesday, I go, oh yeah, this is my bathroom cleaning day. When I have that moment of, oh, I need to clean my house. What do I do today? It's Tuesday. I need to clean my bathrooms. That just kind of gives me that bump to say, this is what I need to focus on today. The other thing that happens too is I don't always clean my bathrooms on Tuesday. If you've read the blog lately, you've seen my posts about needing plumbers to come in. I think I talked about this last week, didn't I, on the Rambly one? Anyway, I get behind on cleaning my bathrooms. If I have a Tuesday that's crazy and I am cleaning bathrooms, but I'm running out of time, I will skip the master bathroom. So I may have to catch up on that. It's not a matter of having done it perfectly. It's a matter of Tuesday rolls around. What should I focus on today? I'm going to clean my bathrooms. Tuesday comes around and my kid has a field trip and I'm not even home that day. Well, then the next Tuesday I go, oh, that's right, I missed last Tuesday. Or, oh my goodness, I missed last Tuesday and the Tuesday before. I really have to make sure I get these bathrooms deep cleaned today. So it's a way for me to combat time passage awareness disorder. So the main part of your question is, how do you catch up? My real answer for that is I don't. That's kind of the purpose of my weekly cleaning tasks assigned to a different day, is not worrying about catching up. Meaning, Tuesday comes around, I clean the bathrooms. Let's say I am behind on laundry. Okay. I will generally catch up on laundry, and I can often combine those last couple loads of laundry with also cleaning the bathroom that day. But if it comes around to Thursday and I'm behind on laundry and I didn't clean bathrooms, I'm not going to worry about bathrooms. One of the things to remember is that when most people who have someone come in and clean their homes, okay, most people in the U.S. do not have them come weekly. It is generally twice a month or every other week. But it is rare that somebody, I don't know if I'm saying rare because I don't actually know statistics, but most of the people who I know that have someone clean their home, it's every other week. So it can kind of give you that, oh yeah. Okay. So if I miss a week of cleaning my bathroom, it's not the end of the world. Now, if it's Tuesday and I'm aware and I cleaned it last week, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean it this week because I might as well. I never know what's going to happen the next Tuesday, but that's my day. So when Thursday comes and I didn't do laundry and I didn't do bathroom cleaning, I'm not going to go back and feel like I have to finish laundry first and then I have to finish bathrooms before I can justify doing the mopping. I just go ahead and do the mopping because that's what Thursday is. And then Friday, dusting and vacuuming. Okay, I didn't mop this week. Oh, well, I'm just going to go ahead and dust and vacuum on Friday. And next week I'll get around to mopping because you know what? You can go a long time just kind of spot cleaning your floors. It's just the truth, y'all. It is. So anyway, if you need to skip it, it's not about catching up, I guess is my point. Here's the thing. This reminds me of meal planning. When I meal plan, I will just write down generally 4 to 5 meals that I want to cook that week. One of the main complaints that I hear people say about meal planning is that they will often put it, this is what we're going to have on Monday, this is what we're going to have on Tuesday. And then they think, well, but when I get to Tuesday, I don't feel like having spaghetti and meatballs, but that's what's on my thing. And now I resent it. And so I throw the whole list away. Where if I will just give myself 4 meals to do, then every night I go, okay, I look at that list and I say, all right, it's Monday. What of these 4 meals sounds the best to me? And I'm usually fine with one of them. And I've got all the ingredients for that meal because it was on my list that day. So kind of instead of saying, and it's a guideline, it's not a success failure thing. It's just this kind of gets me going and helps me keep going. There's no wrong way to do it. Another thing is comparing it to the 4 daily tasks. My 4 daily tasks, which I've talked about many times, are number 1, run the dishwasher. Or if you don't have a dishwasher, do the dishes every single night before you go to bed. Does that always happen? No, it doesn't. Okay. But having that as my top daily task means that when I go, okay, what am I going to focus on? I need to go to bed, but I know I need to get stuff done. I'm going to focus on this is my number 1 thing. I'm going to get my dishes done before I go to bed. The next daily task is sweeping the kitchen. And then the next one is checking the bathrooms for clutter. And then the next one is a 5-minute pickup. Okay. So those are my 4 main daily tasks and they're prioritized, meaning on a day where I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm getting all 4 of those things done today. I know to start with doing the dishes. Same thing with laundry day. I mean, doing the dishes has to be number 1 because my home can't function if my dishes aren't clean. My family cannot eat properly if the dishes aren't clean. It just throws everything off because dinner is made that much more difficult because I have to wash a skillet to be able to cook. And then I have to wash the, individual plates to be able to serve it. So it's like, if I will keep dishes going, we can function in our most basic of daily lives, eating every single day as a family. That's what we do. So along those lines, laundry is the number 1 task for the weekly cleaning tasks, because that's the one that if I don't do it, people go naked, and that is socially unacceptable. Okay. So we just have to accept that. Prioritizing that and saying, okay, so I'm behind. Monday happened. I didn't get laundry done. Okay. I'm just going to focus on laundry today because we can live another week without our bathrooms being deep cleaned, but we cannot go another week before I do laundry. So I'm just going to do laundry instead. Now, one of the things about laundry is you can fit other things in around it. A lot of people do a 1-day focus on cleaning. I find myself doing this a little more often because this blog, writing a book, all that kind of stuff has turned into a full-time job hours. I find myself often, instead of doing the daily cleaning tasks, weekly cleaning tasks, instead of doing that, saying, okay, well, so I am behind, I'm going to do a cleaning day today. And laundry does work for that because especially as long as you are, as I am, I'm not speaking you, I'm speaking me, especially as long as I am folding right out of the dryer and putting things away immediately so that I really don't have anything hanging over my head, meaning a pile of clean laundry on the couch or whatever. As long as I'm doing that, I really do have 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long your washing machine takes, 30 minutes to an hour between each load where I can then go clean the bathrooms. I can pretty much do that in an hour. It may not be the best cleaning job ever, but I can get my bathrooms cleaned in an hour. Go ahead and clean those and then stop and do the laundry, do that next load of laundry and then say, okay, well, in that hour, I'm going to go and clean, I'm going to go mop the kitchen. Okay. And then, change over the load, put everything away, clean, do dusting and vacuuming in that hour. And that is a way to do an entire day, because that's how some people have to do it. Maybe you work full time outside the home and it's just not practical to say, I'm going to go take 45 minutes to go clean my bathrooms on a Tuesday. That makes sense. So maybe you have to do that. Maybe you only do it twice a month or once a month or whatever it is, the first weekend of the month. This is the weekend when I'm going to do that. And then the rest of the month, I'm going to do my daily tasks to do that. The other thing to remember too is daily tasks are more important than weekly tasks. Okay, so we prioritize the daily tasks in dishes are first. Number one, if I don't have time to do anything else, I'm going to at least do the dishes. We prioritize the weekly cleaning tasks in laundry. Laundry has to be done no matter what, while bathrooms can be put off or mopping can be put off. But if our choice is between the daily tasks and the weekly tasks, daily tasks need to come first, except for laundry, because laundry has to be done. But daily tasks are more important, meaning, one of the things I talk about a lot is when I started this deslobification process, meaning going from absolute crazy chaotic home to figuring out how to keep things under control consistently. I just focused on the daily. I didn't know what I was doing, but that's what I did. I just focused on the daily stuff, focused on doing my dishes every single day, no matter what. And it made such a huge impact, such a bigger impact than I ever thought was possible. I thought it was all about those bigger weekly cleaning tasks, where it was really more about the daily stuff. So keeping the daily stuff as a way to do that. And the other thing too about the daily stuff is when I am checking my bathrooms for clutter every single day, then cleaning the bathroom is a much faster, easier job that I'm not dreading as much, because I can actually get in there and just clean the bathrooms, as opposed to first having to declutter everything before I can even get to the surfaces to clean the bathrooms. Okay. So it's that prioritizing and looking at it that way. Okay, so that's mostly my answer to your question, is simply that it is really more important to not get caught up in the actual schedule part of it and focus more on this is a way for me to remember. Okay, so if the question is how do I catch up, the answer is don't catch up. The answer is focus on that task for that day. And then the next week, when Tuesday comes around, or whatever day you've assigned for cleaning bathrooms, if this is the way that you've chosen to, make this schedule, then the next week when that comes around, then do the bathrooms. But focus on those daily cleaning tasks. And if you're getting behind, make sure you're asking yourself, am I keeping up with my daily stuff? Because I think that keeping up with the daily stuff is going to make you go, okay, because it keeps those weekly cleaning tasks from being such a project. If I'm sweeping my kitchen every single day, then mopping the kitchen is just mopping the kitchen. It's not first taking everything off the floor and, picking up this, that, and the other that's been sitting on the floor for a week. It just makes that a much faster cleaning task. So focusing first on daily stuff, and also on viewing it as a routine that has a lot of flexibility in it. We all live real lives. And so if we don't have flexibility, then things aren't going to work, especially when you have kids and unpredictable things that you can't control what's going to happen week to week. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you so much to those of you who sent who sent me an email this week. I'm actually just today getting quite a few more, responding to last week's podcast, that was possibly a downer, but several people everybody who emailed me said that you were encouraged by it. And I appreciate that. This is a constant struggle, and it's always going to be. As you know, I seek to always be honest. That's why I explained that I hadn't cleaned my master bedroom in quite a while. Anyway, but that's what the goal is here, is to be honest, and let's not pretend like things are something. And I think part of that too, maybe that comes along with this question this week is whatever they say, the experts say, like don't compare your every day to somebody else's special day, or I don't know, insides to everybody else's outside. Whatever you're seeing of somebody, even when I'm trying to be authentic, you may be reading an old post that was a week where I seriously did have it all together, but I guarantee not every single week do I have it all together, which is one of the reasons that I encourage people to read the entire blog from the beginning, is just to see the day in, the day out, the successes that are yippee great. And if you just read that, you would think I had it all together. But then you read the next day's posts where, okay, I've failed again. Just seeing that it does keep going. Whatever works, great. But my main encouragement is to not catch up. And I am going back into the other subject where I was starting to talk about thanking you for emailing me about 92. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. I'm obviously a little scattered again today, but thank you so much for joining me. And I will send an email out to my patrons to let you know soon what the date and the time for the patron only hangout. So thanks for joining me today, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.